It's Monday. I'm waiting for the TikTok stream to catch up. Is it working? It's not working. Why is it not working? Oh, there we are. We're all caught up. Awesome. Good morning. This is Ask a Traffic Cop, that show on the internet that brings you answers to your traffic and police questions. Yeah, police questions. That's what we talk about. We are live on a whole bunch of different platforms. Oh, I got the wrong logo up. Well, that's okay. It gives me an opportunity to talk to you about what we did this weekend. Such a great weekend with 4 driving skills for life. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a police officer with the Toronto Police Service, and I talk about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff all the time, like really all the time. And it was nonstop all weekend, literally. To like 12 hours a day. It was amazing. But we were out at the Toronto Congress Centre. We met with hundreds of people that were down to get some free training to make their driving experience, their career, their life on the road safer. And that means safer for everybody. So I was really excited. If you were there and I met you, it was great meeting you. There were a number of notable individuals who came up and took some photos. Hey, if you took photos with me, I didn't see it show up as being tagged. If you post it, please tag me at VoiceOver Cop so I can see them too. So many smiling faces, so many people who were thrilled, happy, overjoyed with the experience and lessons they got. Really made me happy. So that is awesome. We are currently, I said awesome because, anyway, we'll talk about that later. We are currently broadcasting on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Kick, and of course, the platform formerly known as Twitter, the now X. Although, you know what, there could be very different logos coming down the pipe. I've been seeing all sorts of iterations. So if you'd like to ask us questions, know that you can ask us questions on almost all of those. If you're on Twitter, that's one that you cannot. It makes me sad. We have a lot of folks who watch us on Twitter because I see the statistics afterwards. Lots of people who watch us. Lots of people who watch us on YouTube. And not all of you who watch are subscribers. Now, if you're watching live, you probably are. But I again can see the statistics. We see thousands of views. But not everybody's a subscriber. So if you're watching, please follow, like, subscribe, share, do all that business on whatever platform you're on. But if you're on Twitter and you want to actually engage with us, please hit the button that is found on the link tree. Where do you find the link tree? ASKaTrafficCop.TrafficCop.ca. That's where you can get all the information for all of our social media platforms, and you can come over and watch us. Got texts from my wife that I can't read on my watch. My phone's in use. Okay. Another thing that I want you to know is that we can... you can listen to this show legally while driving, although it won't be live. You could be listening to it as a podcast. You can get this after the show. A replay is available on what basically your favorite app, whatever you listen to, whether it be Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Google Podcasts or iHeartRadio has a podcast platform we're on. We're everywhere. And that's because we want to be where you are so that you can have access to us. But you can listen to us on a podcast, and it's safe. You're not interfering with your ability to drive safely. And that's what we care about. We want you to be, getting the good information, but we don't want you to be looking at your phone, listening on YouTube. Again, these are all available on YouTube for replay. But that's not good. Now, if you're watching on TikTok, I know that TikTok, unless they've changed it, allows you to turn off your phone and still hear, or turn off the screen, which would make it legal as long as you're not holding it, you're not interacting with it. But you can hear us, the live stream. But then you're burning data, and nobody wants to burn their data. Data is important. Let's see here. Let's get into talking about Vision Zero Enforcement Team. What are they? Well, they're a dedicated group of officers who go out and conduct enforcement activities in different areas of the city. And they do this based on intelligence-led policing. Our analysts look at where the crashes are happening, and they say, this is where you should be. And they augment the already good work being done by officers throughout the city, and they're just helping. They're changing driver behavior one ticket at a time. So where are they today, and what do they focus on? Because people always want to know, what are they doing? Why are they just issuing tickets? Are they just looking for expired license plates? Listen, they'll write a ticket for anything, but they are certainly focused on the big 4: speeding, aggressive driving, distracted driving, and impaired driving. Those are the activities that lead to serious injury and death. We know this, and that's why we focus on it. So when people say, well, how come we're not, targeting cyclists on sidewalks? It's a problem. It is. But we focus on the stuff that does the most damage, because any life lost is one too many. And that's the whole concept of Vision Zero, having a goal of 0 fatalities, 0 serious injuries. We totally understand. Minor fender benders are they're going to happen. They're preventable, sure, but they're going to happen. But the ones that lead to serious injury and death, we understand are totally preventable. They are totally preventable. All you have to do is change driver behavior. So we're doing that. Now, the city does it through engineering and changing designs of roads. And how do we do it as police officers? Well, we educate the public and we enforce when the rules are broken. And the fine folks at Vision Zero enforcement team do a heck of a job. Now, today they are in 31 Division and 55 Division. Those are the neighborhoods of Black Creek, Humbermead, Downsview, Humber Summit, the Beaches, Riverdale, Danforth, East York. You know, neighborhoods where real people live, work, and play and deserve to be safe. It's true. If it was your neighborhood, you'd want us there too, because those are likely where the people you care about are. Well, oddly enough, when people leave their neighborhoods, they start acting differently. Well, often. Sometimes they act differently in their own neighborhoods because they just don't care. And we want you to care. We want you to think about the lives that are being put at risk because of driver behavior. People choose behavior, right? Now, let's get into some other things. So I don't want to harp on Vision Zero. It's important. I love sharing it. Oh, by the way, if you want to see where Vision Zero is every day, yeah, of course you can tune into to the show, but you can also subscribe to us and follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook. These are all the places where we post this daily. It's a resource, usually early in the morning. Now, why do we tell people? People get really hung up on why do we announce where they are? Like maybe we should keep it a secret. Well, if you keep it a secret, then the people who live in those neighborhoods don't know we're there, and we want you to know that we're there. All right. Chase says, first comment in the stream, at least on the stream here through YouTube. And I will say this, although TikTok doesn't directly link, we do have the magical assistance of JD, our producer, who is cutting and pasting and making it possible for us to see the comments that come through on TikTok. So for the folks on TikTok, please hit that screen, tap it till your fingers go numb. It tells the algorithm that you are valuing what you see and you want to share it to other people, because that's what it's all about, sharing good information. We want to prevent you from getting tickets by making sure you know the rules and have the information to make good decisions. All right, so Chase says 12 hours early, best thumbnail. You like this thumbnail? No kidding. Okay. Oh, this was okay, he made the comment. He made it here because he made the comment 12 hours ago. That's too funny. Okay, Stephen Bell says, good morning. Leo wife, my wife is watching, and a wonderful good morning to you and the kids who decided to stay home today. They decided camp wasn't going to be for them today. My daughter, I spoke to her this morning, she says, Daddy, my eyes want to open, but they can't. So we made an executive decision that despite the fact that I had, was ready to take them to camp, they were going to stay in bed. Anyway, Tim Shallow says, good morning. We have Ryan Doe with is it Dow? Am I saying this wrong? Dow? It's a very long comment. And I guess we can talk about that in a second. I've got it won't even show up on screen. So I'm going to read it in advance of putting it on screen. Ryan says, when I was learning to fly airplanes, I was taught to raise items up to eye level by the windscreen for a map, for example, to help maintain vision outside of the aircraft while multitasking. Before Ontario made these, and I'm quoting, asinine distracted driving laws, this is the technique I would use as it's the safest way to text while driving and never felt unsafe. Now, when I text while driving, I have to make an effort to conceal the use of my handheld device while maintaining lookout for law enforcement. And this is a cause for the real distraction instead of the prohibition. Wouldn't it be safer to teach drivers how to safely use their handheld devices while driving? Further, police frequently use electronic devices while driving. I view this as an implicit acknowledgement that it is safe to do so. After all, police have very strong unions and would simply add a second officer to vehicles if it was unsafe. Very hypocritical. Let me put you on screen for the parts that can be read. Okay, Ryan, this is a great way to start the episode. Here's the deal. We acknowledge that cell phone use, whether it be holding it in your hand, texting especially, or being focused on anything other than the road, is dangerous, even when police officers do it. We do not have secret special training. We do have a lot of training, but we do not have secret special training that makes it safer. When you take your eyes off the road, or even when you direct your attention to the phone or device, you are splitting your ability to function safely. Now, there isn't a lot to hit when you're in a plane, and maybe in a plane, and the learned instructors know something that I don't about operating them. I'm not a pilot. I'm assuming that you very rarely have to swerve and avoid the car in front of you that may choose to change direction or swoop into your flight path. There's, at very least, very few pedestrians walking out in front of your plane. Driving is not the same. Now, I appreciate that if you hold your phone up here while you're driving, you may have your peripheral vision at work to help you a bit. And obviously, while you're looking at your lap, you don't, at least not as well. It doesn't make it good. It doesn't make it legal for you, and it certainly is never safe. When police officers do it, they're doing it out of urgency, out of a lack of options. We have police radios, which we're legally allowed to use. We have computers that allow us to get access to information that we need to have in order to do what we do as police officers. And we're given a legal exemption to do it, not because it's safe, because it's necessary. And it's a reasonable risk when one person is doing it, not when everyone is doing it. What is the actual direction? That is, the direction from command is to not do it unless it's absolutely unavoidable. Now, when is it unavoidable? Oh, I don't know, maybe when we're going to an emergency call, that could be a reason. There's a lot of reasons, and I appreciate that. From the outside looking in, we could be talking to our spouses, we could be talking to the guy in the pizza delivery app or the order center, we could be doing anything. And people don't like well, why do they get to do it and I can't? Well, I understand that doesn't feel very nice, but it doesn't make it more safe for us to use it. It just means that we have to use it in order to do what we have to do. Now, you said extra cars or extra persons in cars. Daytime, we have solo cars and we have two-up cars. Some police services have two cars, but they ride it in tandem. They ride two cars every call. How they utilize their officers is that's more complicated than just saying, well, you can't use your phone, so I'm going to assign you a second officer to text for you. But I appreciate where you're going with this. Dr. Nick says, why doesn't TPS do something like Fridays with Frank? They get like 500,000 views on every video. It's Fridays with Frank, by the way, shout out to them. I love them. They are next level. Why are they next level? Because they have a full production team. What I do is me, myself, and I. This, what I do here, and even when I'm out at events like Ford Driving Skills for Life, is very much me, myself, and I. And I have the assistance of producers, officers who are able to give me an hour of their time to actually go and moderate and kick out people who are being racist or disruptive, but also be able to take questions from TikTok and put them over. But that's the extent of it. Everything else is me, myself, and I. Those videos take a budget, one. Two, they take multiple people doing multiple things, camera persons, audio persons, editors after the fact, and I love it. And if I could do that, I would. If I was on the road, I would be trying to do exactly what they're doing because I think they are awesome. Stephen Bell says, I got so much info over the weekend. Thanks for going live. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I hit the button thinking it was the next in line. I got to scroll back up for the queue. So things are coming in, lots of questions. Really appreciate all the questions. I do my best to answer all of them. If you have a question, there's no question that is stupid other than one that isn't asked. So if you've got questions about traffic safety, traffic law, police stuff in general, feel free to ask them. That's how this works. It's a show all about you. That's why we're here. Okay. Hey, okay. Now it's Riaz 501 says, hey Sean, amazing speaking with you yesterday. It was awesome meeting everybody that I met. Now I am not recognizing your username and putting a face to it. So if we took a photo together, please tag me, put it up on Instagram and tag me so I can associate a face to the username. And you may have told me what your username was yesterday, but I don't remember. Let's see here. Chase wants to know about transporting a homegrown marijuana plant if it's in reach of the driver, but it's in a planter pot. I would love to give you an answer. I don't remember reading that coverage. There is a permission to transport certain things. I don't think you can actually consume marijuana off the plant, so I don't think it's a problem, but I don't know for sure. And I will defer to drug recognition experts and people who have recently reviewed the cannabis related act. So I will have to defer, Chase, and we'll talk more about it because I'll go reread the sections that deal with cannabis and transportation of plants. I did the training a long time ago. So let's make a note. Transport plants. Awesome. You can always count on Chase to find the most obscure question. Oh, it was from the TikTok comments? It wasn't you? Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for sharing it. My wife is sharing a message from TikTok, no doubt. Can we make a U-turn on a no left signal? Well, here's the thing. What is the first part of a left turn? Sorry, what is the first part of it? I answer it in the question. I screwed that up. What's the first part of a U-turn? It's a left turn. I would assume you are violating the law. Now, where's my phone that I can actually, during the weekend, I was unable to refer to my wonderful quick and dirty search window. I have an app called Shield Basic that lets me look up all sorts of things. But I think think here, if I look it up and we do turn, I want to find something that has a turn, because usually what it says is whether you attempt it. Even if you don't complete your turn, it's the attempting the turn that is illegal. Can I find something easily? No, let's move on. But we will come back to it. It's very warm in here today. Very warm indeed. Crystal says, where I live, there are a lot of loud vehicles, more of the younger crowd. Is there anything we could do to complain about a lot of the louder vehicles? It's funny, I made a tweet about this morning. And sorry, as I switch over, did I even finish off my thoughts on the left? I would say no to the left turn, U-turn where no left turn is permitted. I would charge you for it. It's an unsafe place to do it. Just go find a driveway. Go make a, go around the block. Don't make U-turns are dangerous. People say they're not dangerous. They are dangerous. A lot of collisions, a lot of fails. Okay, back to Crystal. You can certainly call your local police service and say you're having a problem in your area. If you have a specific complaint about a specific vehicle, like Toronto Police has a form that you can complete for either specific vehicle complaints or for the areas. Either way, contacting your local police to complain is the way to go. Cool. Dr. Nick really likes pre-recorded intros. I think the recorded intro with Visa would be great in the future. I agree with you, Dr. Nick, I really do. Here's the issue with the pre-recorded thing. It takes time. And I've been doing all sorts of things because I this week, and it's the last week where I'm doing this, where I'm coming in later to accommodate camp schedule. So as of next week, I'm back to being here at 6 a.m. I'm here now a little later, which means I will have more time to do that kind of stuff. And this whole idea of a pre-recorded intro came about during my camp schedule. So I haven't been able to do it consistently, but I will be able to start doing it. So I definitely note your interest and support of the pre-recorded intro. I actually like it. It gives me 2 minutes extra to sort of make coffee and do things. I was making coffee up to seconds before. And I don't know if they've left the building yet. I know they're heading back to New York. But I had some visitors. What did I do with them? Hang on a second. Where's my stuff? My stuff and things. Oh, no, not there. Because I'm waiting to have visitors attend because I have these for them because they had stuff for me. Where'd it go? Oh, is there a piece of paper? No. Okay, this is really troubling. I have NYPD patches here. Oh, they're like right on my computer, staring like right. The microphone was blocking it. But I had a couple of NYPD officers came by and gave me some patches. So I have patches for them, and we exchanged coins. So I have some beautiful NYPD Highway Patrol coins here, which that was an awesome, although somewhat planned because we were chatting about it over the weekend. It was great to see them. Of course, they got here like just minutes before the show started, so I didn't have time to really chat. I believe they're getting a tour of the station right now. All right, moving along. Dr. Jasmine Chatha, 1, says, can we make a U-turn? We just covered that. Oh, okay, because multiple people are asking on their behalf. Okay, well, we're moving on. We covered it, and I should probably read the questions before I hit the button. Is it illegal to have tinted license plate covers? That is the question. And I know the chat knows the answer. Oh, I guess I should say it. It is absolutely illegal to have any cover, anything, clear, tinted, even a frame that says, your favorite Honda shop or whatever, anything on your license plate is illegal. You cannot obscure or obstruct the plate in any way, shape, or form. It's a $110 fine. And if you continue to do it after, people say, it's just rent. I'll just pay it and keep on trucking. If you continue to offend with the same offense, we can escalate that to a summons, and then you can explain to court as to why you don't want to comply with the law. Who says that? I love when I say something, it triggers my memory into the inspiration for whatever I've just done. And then I question if you know what I was thinking when I said it. It's just another Manic Monday, which actually also triggered because Manic Monday is a song. Does anyone know the band who sings Manic Monday? Mm-hmm. See how many people are as old as me? Let's see here. Samantha has a question. Is it illegal to have... No, we just covered that. See? Doubling up. Okay. So we talked about license plate covers here. So I just follow the directions of the screen in front of me. I wouldn't say... Okay, Dr. Nick has this to say. Let's see what Dr. Nick says. I wouldn't say keep VZ a secret, just announce where they were yesterday so those neighborhoods still know and the speeders don't know where to avoid. You know, Dr. Nick, I think you've got something interesting. I like that. Maybe, and just maybe, it would be interesting to say, hey, Vision Zero was here yesterday, and in that time, they issued 5 million tickets. Could be interesting. I know that the command is really big on telling people where they are today. We have nothing to hide. But that's an interesting perspective. At very least, maybe we talk about where they were yesterday and where they're going tomorrow, and that sort of thing. But yeah, I don't think anyone who's acting the fool behind the wheel of a car is actually paying attention to what we have to say here. So, you know, the good folks, the folks who care about what we do and being safe and all that jazz, I think they are genuinely interested in talking about this stuff. And I think the people who are doing what they're doing, not so much. What is this? Are light smoke tinted taillights illegal? So, you know, we start getting into this what if and maybe. The deal is that your taillights must be discernible at 150 meters, and that is a subjective observation by a police officer. So at 150 meters thereabouts, I'm going to look, and I'm going to see, and I'm going to pull you over if I can't distinguish or see clearly your taillights. And then, yeah, could I then, you know, get a tape measure for 150 meters? Probably not going to happen. You're going to have to explain to you know, if you'd be modifying your taillights, and I believe that they're not at the grade, I'm going to issue a ticket. It's $110. The deal is that your brake lights are an amazing thing. They telegraph, they tell people, they announce your intention to stop or change direction. If you modify that, you might become more responsible for a collision. Now, light smoke, frankly, you probably wouldn't even notice it. Light smoke. But when you're changing the amount of light that comes through that lens, you are making it less safe. And when we do these things called investigations, and you know, we look at those taillights and we say, we noticed there was a film. We noticed it was dark. That goes in our notes. Insurance companies take note of that too, and they may now find you responsible, liable for a portion of a collision that you were maybe not otherwise responsible for. But it now contributes, and now it gives you a tick in the box that says you were involved in the making of your collision. And it's a funny thing about insurance companies. People seem to believe that we make the decisions as to who's at fault, and then it goes away. We make our report, we submit that report, insurance companies look at that report, and then they do whatever the heck they want. That's what it is. Okay. We talked about that. Ooh. Okay, this is actually interesting. In case anyone cares, Ontario recently ran out of C-Series plate combinations, and we are now entering the D-Series plates. I don't even notice. I don't think I paid attention to any C-Series plates. No, I guess I do pay. I have noticed some because I have one, but I never really paid attention to it because I really don't care. You know, it is what it is. I drive the car. It's got a plate, and yeah, until you made me think about it, I wasn't even paying attention. D-Series plates. A whole new set of acronyms created out of, yeah, there's going to be so many acronyms because that's what I do. I remember my license plate through an acronym that I create. I used to have a license plate that started with S. It was perfect because, of course, it was Sean, right? That's how we started it. It was Sean. Moving on. Here we go. Am I able to take my tag/sticker off my plate now in Ontario? If your vehicle qualifies for not requiring one, then yes. So if you have a passenger vehicle, a personal passenger vehicle, most light vehicles under 3,000 kilos would qualify. Is it kilos or pounds? Anyway, 3,000 somethings. Then you would be able to. If you're one of the free renewal, no longer sticker issued persons, yeah, you can remove your old ones. In fact, that's probably a really good way to go. In the event that you were to, I don't know, drive into the United States, most officers will realize we no longer use them. But, you know, seeing an expired sticker is a clue to pull you over and investigate. Okay. I'm not going to try and say your name because I'm going to ruin it. My neighbor car exhaust making noise. I cannot even sleep. What do I do? Please advise, custom made. Well, you know the specific vehicle. You have their license plate. You can certainly make a complaint. You can certainly speak to police. There's a mixed thought process here. You can either go and say, hey, buddy, neighbor person, in a nice way, I'm having difficulty sleeping. It's really interfering with my life. Would you mind, not revving your engine? And that's one way. But that could create a lot of animosity. So you could do an anonymous, report, or a report online with Toronto Police, which is not anonymous, but explains that what's going on, and ultimately, it goes from there. But getting police involved escalates things to the next level. So based on your comfort, do what you got to do, and choose based on your comfort level. But yeah, it sucks when you have people that live in close proximity to you, and they wake you up every day because of it. And there's night shift people who get woken up in the middle of the day because of people who are, enjoying their customized noisemaker. Hey, you're here. That's good. There's a couple of NYPD guys walking around the building, so that's why the door's open. Because they.
Are you on right now?
I'm on right now, but they brought me these, so I have these for them. So, yeah, just saying. And if you decide you want to join in and sit in for a few, you can. But I know you got busy stuff going on. Later.
Give me minutes.
Okay.
All right.
Giancarlo might join us. A new face, new avatar unlocked. That's who knows who says that? He says new character unlocked. Who says that? That's a TikTok. He's a YouTube guy too. Yeah, a new character unlocked. Who says that? I'm waiting for the responses to start flying in. What do you mean NYPD? I mean NYPD, New York Police Department. I'm not. They're gonna be unhappy with me if I start throwing it. When I go places, I tend to pick up the way they speak. So if I'm in New York, I start talking about WADA and things like that, and it's probably really offensive. And it starts happening automatically. I can't help myself, and I have to not do that because someone will punch me in the mouth. Anyway, all right, moving on. I'm reading. There we go. Covered that one. Tiago. Let's start flagging questions because so many are coming in. It's awesome. Okay. Morning, Sean. Not traffic related, however. I was just wondering if TPS has a paid co-op placement for post-secondary students. There are, I don't know about the paid part. There are paid Yippee programs, which are for younger, I believe, high school. For post-secondary, I don't know if it's paid or not paid. If it's truly co-op, it's probably not paid. But I would suggest talking to our recruiting department, our talent acquisition. Yeah, that's who I would talk to. If you, I know we had a co-op student in high school who tried to get in, and we were told there was no co-op placements for high school. So, if that helps. But I would reach out to our recruiter. They'd be the ones yeah, that's doubling down. Okay. Some response back about cell phone stuff. Let's see here. William, you coming in? You thinking about it?
Yeah. I'll jump in.
You got stuff to do. No pressure. Well, I sort of introduced. You can throw headphones on. Yeah, we're here. I will clear off a little space here for your drink. He's got a bubbly.
Yes, I do.
Here we go. All right, you got.
God.
Listen,
I sound so horrible on radio.
What do you mean? You got to get closer. You sound better when you're closer. Yeah.
Brings back the memories when I was on the multicultural radio stuff.
Well, you're off camera now. Slide in, snuggle up. It's okay. So just a little background for everyone who's watching. PC, Giancarlo Morelli, you used to be a media guy in the office, and then you went off to be a member of Vision Zero enforcement team, and then you came back, and now you are in a totally different role.
Yes.
But we hope to get you back doing a lot of this kind of stuff because it's fun.
You know what I do? I really miss this. I know I do have the conversation with everybody that I still have relations with. The multicultural
Stations, radio stations?
Yeah, stations that we have that I went on before. So I know they're looking to get you back on theirs, which is great. And just I miss this stuff. I miss the whole talking to everybody, educating, and everything else. I really do miss that. So I know if there's any people out there listening, I would love to answer some questions while I'm here. But
hey, you can do that. You can certainly do that.
So that's good.
We left the door open in case NYPD shows up. Yeah. So that's why everyone's walking by peeking their heads in.
I'm still here. But anyways. But yeah, no, I just I want to congratulate you, Sean, on doing what you're doing and everything else. I know you've increased our followers and everything else. I know when I was here, it was like maybe 60,000 maybe followers.
I think we had 16,000 on Twitter.
It wasn't anything what you did now. So, but He's the right guy for it, everybody. So if you have any questions, concerns, comments, he is your
Rude
man,
remarks,
so.
all that jazz. But you can also, I can get everybody your email. They can send you questions too.
No, but I, as much as I love to,
Let's see what this question is. It comes up. William Fountain wants to know, is it legal to pass on a double yellow line? I've done some research. In some cases, it says it's legal. Ontario's is that funny place.
Yes.
It's a funny place because in every province other than Ontario, it's illegal to cross a solid line. But here it's not, unless there's a sign.
correct. It says no passing, but double line is indicating that it's not safe to do so.
Sergeant Campbell
Hello,
says, you're in
Sergeant.
my chair. Why are you in my chair? You're in my chair. I knew he was going to say, you're in my
I'm
chair.
so sorry. I'm so sorry.
He was walking by. So we have a couple of NYPD officers in the building. I assume they're still in the building before they head out to New York. And they dropped off a couple of patches. So I've got a couple of patches for them. So I left the door open so they wouldn't be, scared of the live and come in. And then you leave the door open anyway.
See, anyone walks in, eh? And the riffraff. I'm sorry. So
we're just discussing lines
Yes.
on the road.
did you want to jump in on this?
Tell me something. What are you
They want to know if it's legal to cross a double yellow line.
Is it legal? Yes.
It is legal
It
to
is
cross
legal,
the
it
line.
is legal,
Yeah, but you are responsible for whatever happens next. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
If you cross the double line and you drive into another vehicle, boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, it's a bad day
We
for
got
you.
problems. Yeah.
If the double yellow line is at the crest of grade,
Oh.
or by a bridge,
Yes.
or the apex of a corner,
And that's why he
or
said
where
in some
visibility is-
in some circumstances, then it is yes, 100% illegal, and then there's legal.
It depends.
Yes.
Okay, so what's the difference between white lines on the road and yellow lines on the road?
I know the answer to this question.
So do I. So how about anyone in the
The audience, the
in
audience.
the audience can actually answer
I
that
know
for us?
Chase is here. Chase can answer anything because he's been studying. But yeah, the deal is
Everybody hear the question?
the question is what's the difference between a white line, solid or double, or hashed or whatnot, white lines versus yellow lines. The difference, because there is a difference. They're
See
a
if somebody
message.
can come up with it before
Okay, we
answer.
won't answer. We're going to wait to
No.
hear from the audience.
No, definitely.
Solid white line, no passing is one guess. Yellow separates oncoming from alley. And that is the correct answer. Yellow
is.
means that the traffic on the other side of the line is traveling in the opposite direction as you are. Yellow or white lines are the same direction.
What does he win?
Nothing.
Okay.
Well, actually, if you send,
Actually,
you know
you
what?
know what?
I'll send you a keychain. If I'll send you a keychain.
Yeah,
We can do that.
absolutely.
Nice.
We have keychains. They're carabiners. Do I have one here? Look at this. You are the proud owner of if you email, well, if you send me your address, I will throw this in the mail. A traffic services. No one has these unless I met you on the weekend. A traffic services carabiner keychain.
No one has one, but the people that I met.
Except all the people I gave during the weekend and everyone that I've ever seen at a show.
Nice.
But certainly I will send one to you if you do that. You can go to TrafficCop.ca to do that because that's where I have a form that says send me a message, and you can go there and send me a message.
Beautiful.
It works well. I don't think the NYPD is coming. I think they left without a patch.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe I'll take a quick little walk around. How's
I'll give you these in case they're still here.
that? Yes, of
And if
course.
you see them, you can give them to them.
All right.
All right.
Thank
It
you
gives
very much.
that perfect opportunity to leave.
Are you-
This is
No,
the
no, you're
this
doing
is
good.
no. I am good. I'm good. I just want to say, hey, thanks everybody for listening in for the whole 10 seconds I was
10
here, so-
seconds with half a question. Yeah. Well, come back anytime.
Of course.
Okay. Let's get back into.
I'm actually gonna sit down for-
You're gonna come in?
I'm gonna come in for-
Oh, we got started. This is the
Musical chairs.
musical chairs. You can close the door. Let the heat continue to build in here, and I mean that because I'm very warm in here today. Last week it was cool in here. Today it's warm in here. It was warm all weekend, like really, really, really warm.
I heard you were out having some fun this weekend.
It was a fantastic time. I've got to say, I met so many of our followers, some amazing instructors. So what many people don't know about this program, the Driving Skills for Life from Ford. Oh wait, I can throw this on screen for a second because I have a logo there. Ford Driving Skills for Life is a program offered for free to its participants. It is by no means free, but it is because it costs money to have racing instructors. These are race car drivers from all over Canada. That came in to teach, to instruct. They're actually on their way now to Edmonton, Alberta, where they're doing another course this coming weekend, which is also free. But Ford Foundation funds this because they believe in making our roads safer, and specifically based on information from the Traffic Injury Research Foundation, which says that that teens or young drivers 24 and under are overrepresented. Represented.
That's nice for
in fatalities. So they want to have people living a whole lot longer, or at very least increase the odds of survivor I'm making up new words here.
Wow.
I'm having some difficulty with words. Anyway, they want to make roads safer for everybody, and doing that with young drivers increases their opportunity to get good experience, professional instruction, and make them safer for them, not only themselves, so they benefit, but their families and all the people that would stand to lose someone they love.
I understand it was really popular, and you had an awful lot of students come up, and an awful lot of people, even on standby, that came by and filled in the spots where people didn't show up.
It's awesome what social media can do, because we had sold out the event in like 4 hours after putting up a TikTok video, and 324 spots gone. The problem was that some people sign up for a free event and then find out that they can't go, or decide to go out the night before and sleep in, and then that's it. They just don't show up. And we had 1,000 people on the wait list. 1,000 people who really wanted to take advantage of the training, who never got emails. Now, that's not true. Some people did cancel. Some people on the wait list were notified, but there were still a large number of spots that were not filled, and it's because somebody just said, I'm not showing up, and no one got notified. So we just started emailing and texting and doing social media posts saying, if you're in the area, if you can get here, and we'll get you in. And it worked, because people came in. We had standby people, or people we called for every session. And at the end, we finally said, just everyone come for 1 o'clock on the afternoon, anyone who's wanting to get in. And we had a pool of people that were there, and we numbered, or I should say the people at Ford registration, numbered their applications in case there were more than spots, but we got everybody in. It was amazing. Neha came into the morning, if you remember Neha from chat room, she's a Humber college student. I woke her up in the morning with a telephone call saying, hey, get over here. And she was a few minutes after it started, but she got there. Lots and lots of people made it out and got that opportunity for the amazing training that they were offering. And I'm so happy that it all worked out well.
Excellent. Yeah. I wish my kids had done it.
They didn't do it?
No, they didn't. I sent it out to them, and they didn't get on in time, so they missed out.
That's unfortunate. Do they want to go to Edmonton on the weekend? I think there might be some spots available.
You know what? I'll go to Edmonton.
That would be a fun trip.
I'm from there, so I go back.
Do you get discounts being an Edmontonian?
Well, I think their chief of police is an ex-Toronto guy as well. So
hey, there you go.
We got an in somewhere.
If you're watching and you have no idea who we are, the bald guy's on screen, although I got a little bit of hair going, I have to shave my head. This is Ask a Traffic Cop, and we are currently broadcasting we're on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Kick, and the platform formerly known as Twitter. That doesn't allow us to see your messages. So if you want to ask messages and you're on Twitter, just pop over to TrafficCop.ca, click on our YouTube link, and come join the party. But I should probably tell you who I am. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a police officer with the Toronto Police Service, and I do this a lot. And I'm very often joined by Sergeant Murray Campbell sitting beside me.
And anybody else who walks by that wants to sit down.
Yes. It could have been some New York cops, but they didn't. They didn't walk in.
Well, what do you do?
Once this show is finished for today, it's usually an hour long, which means we have about 20 minutes left. We download it and we re-upload it as a podcast, so you can listen to it. If you missed it and you want to catch up, you can, or vinegar, or mustard, ketchup, bad. Okay.
That's almost like a dad joke.
You had a good one today. A couple of good ones today. Well, I forgot what they were. They don't last long in the noodle, but they were funny in the moment.
What does a pirate say on the event of his 80th birthday?
What does the pirate say?
I'm 80.
That's good. Yes, I'm easily entertained. Okay. We talked about this. Can I buy a car? Can I buy a car if I don't have my license yet, but leave it in my driveway? You don't have to have a license to own a car.
Nope. Make sure you go in and register it. Make sure it goes into your name. They'll actually issue you a RIN number, which a RIN number is a registrant information number, which will turn into your driver's license at some point. And you can own it and keep it in your driveway. Don't drive it on the road unless it's properly licensed and insured.
And that's it. I mean, technically, you don't even have to be a human to own a car.
That's right.
Companies own cars. I'm sure some small animals own cars. I don't know. Would anyone buy a car and put it in their bird's name? Or no, probably not.
I'm not so sure
companies
you can do
and
that,
humans.
but
Man, it doesn't have to be human. Okay, we covered that. We are early talking about neighbors and loud cars and what can you do to report a loud exhaust system neighbor who wakes you up all day and night. And I suggested you could use the online forums with Toronto Police for neighborhood complaints or for individual complaints. You could even possibly, maybe, I don't know if anonymously through Crime Stoppers would be appropriate, but because it does create some friction when you report your neighbor, and in going next door to your neighbor and saying, "Hey, I live next door, and you're keeping me up at night," could go well, could not go well, could escalate tension. So that's the thing. Any ideas?
That is depending on the relationship you have with your neighbor, that's a good way to start. Hey, you know what you're doing is affecting me. I leave really, really early in the morning. I don't have a loud car, but I don't sit in the driveway and listen to the radio and run the car and all that. I get in, I start the car, and I drive away.
Well, I don't even double lock my when I get home and I have the ability to lock my doors and I can press it again to make sure and it goes I don't do that. I try and be as silent as possible because I care about my neighbors and don't want to disrupt their lives. In the afternoon though, I might double tap it.
All right.
Occasionally. Let's see here. Oh, a bunch of questions just popped in. Oh, and the comment from Stephen Bell. Some people call you a snitch if you ever call the cops because of some dummies. Maybe, but they're also breaking the law and don't like the fact that they're going to be called out on it. So too bad. Earlier we had a comment from Zombie, and nobody answered the question I had, which was who sang the song Manic Monday. So Zombie had to answer the question that she created.
There you go. Yep.
Okay. Here's a question from Chase, who wants to know, why do you think stunt driving is on the rise year over year? Kerry just put out a video saying they laid almost 4,000 stunt driving charges since January. Everyone used to blame the pandemic and empty roads. I think things started there. We've always had a problem with people doing it, but I think that it's risen in popularity from the pandemic, no doubt. I don't know. I don't understand the phenomenon, quite frankly, why it's gotten so popular.
I think we're also catching more people. I think our technology is getting better.
That's a very interesting perspective.
Laser radar as opposed to the old radar that we have, we're able to catch you more efficiently. We now have stealth undercover cars out there that are doing traffic enforcement. If you're doing it, you're going to get caught.
We're also focusing more efforts on enforcement activities in that area. We are doing way more targeted enforcement of people who are choosing to put lives at risk in that way.
Yeah, we're not targeting the low hanging fruit, the easy stuff,
license plate covers.
Well,
like
that you know what? People that are putting license plate covers on are probably committing other offenses, and they're going to get caught as well. So, if we're stopping you for speeding, or if we're stopping you some of that, you're probably going to get everything that's coming to you.
Yeah.
At that point. So
I think you hit the nail on the head in that it's that not that there's more of it, but we're catching more of it.
We're focused on it.
Yeah.
Because that's what's killing people, and that's what we want to stop.
Apparently, they are now releasing a series of plates that start with the letter D.
Oh.
Yes, and Chase wants to get damn.
Yeah,
it's not a dad joke, but I'm not skipping that one. Okay, Dr. Nick, how do I verify that the car I'm about to drive has the correct license plate and it's not from another vehicle? Well,
give us a little more.
Yeah, like are you finding the car? Who owns the car? Rental car issue. It could be issues like if you're renting a car, it could have been incorrectly plated or someone could have messed around with it. But if it's your car, I hope you recognize your plate. So we need more context for your question.
Yeah, give us a little bit more so we can work with it.
Actually, here's the answer to that. As the driver of a motor vehicle, you have to know where the license, ownership, and insurance are. The ownership document will have the license plate portion and tell you what the plate is. You will know, at very least, what the VIN number is and the license plate is of the vehicle you're about to operate, and you should know where those documents are because you're responsible to surrender them. So if you're really concerned about making sure that all matches, take the document out, look at it, verify it.
What a great idea.
It took a couple of seconds to actually figure out that I had the answer to that question. Yeah.
Wow, look at you this morning. Monday morning.
I'm switched on. I actually got sleep last night. Woo! All right. Here. Dr. Nick says, license plate, look it up, shows car details. If you have two of the same color and model type, then cops won't know. Well, that's not exactly accurate. We can know. And people do try this a lot. They buy multiple vehicles and they switch plates. Thieves steal plates from similar cars. We are looking for little things. When we look it up, we will see what's up. And we check those little things like VINs. I almost said VIN.
VIN number?
Yeah, no, I didn't do that though. I caught myself. All right. What is going on here?
Just so you know what a VIN is the unique number issued to every automobile. It's on the dash. You can view it through the windshield of every vehicle. and it stands for Vehicle Identification Number. So when we say VIN number, where it's kind of like Vehicle Identification Number. So that's why we're trying
Yes.
not to number it.
It's definitely bad to say VIN or vehicle VIN number,
Yes.
which I've done before as well. Let's see here. What is this? Dr. Nick. Oh. Chase says, if you have the Carfax app, you can search any Ontario plate for free, and it gives you the year, make, model, and info, or just check registration documents. Interesting. Carfax is a pretty cool platform.
Yep, absolutely. And we use it as well.
Yes, we do.
We find an awful lot of REVIN vehicles that way. And you know what? If your vehicle or a vehicle with the same VIN number is getting an oil change in Florida at the same time as it's getting an oil change in Ontario,
we call that a clue.
that's a clue.
It's a
We
clue.
kind of go, something's up here.
Oh, so Liz also got the Bengals earlier. It just took me a while because when was that? It was a while ago that comment was made. What time was it? Like 10:30. I was like, oh my goodness, like 18 minutes ago. All right, scrolling on down. Tracy says, calm down, Sarge, you'll get your turn. That was a comment that would have been more relevant when you were giving Giancarlo the gears.
Well, yes. Is that
Tracy from 1033.
Oh, that probably was about that
I
time.
think so. All right. Download.
Sergeant, I can't calm down.
It's part of it's DNA change. We got here. If cyclists, this is a question from TikTok. If cyclists performs an unsafe or illegal maneuver on the road, how do we report it? This is a problem with cyclists, is that they don't have license plates, which is why I say I wish they did, because it would make life a lot easier for enforcing these things. But I'm told it's not something that is a priority.
It's not something wanted by the cycling community either.
Well, for sure not. And licensing as well. I think that everyone should have a license to operate a vehicle on the road, including cyclists. But apparently, and the city's actually come out and said it's a barrier. It's too costly.
Restrictive.
It's inefficient.
Yeah.
And the community says it's a restriction to access to reasonable things. It doesn't have to cost money. It just has to be a thing. Sign up, get it.
So if a cyclist performs an unsafe or illegal maneuver on the road, there's very little way we would be able to identify that person to be able to prosecute somebody. Now, if they're doing something unsafe or illegal and it causes injury, then absolutely.
Or if we witness it, if
Yep.
we're there. Obviously, if we see something happening, we have the ability of enforcing it right then and there. And they are responsible for what they do on the road. They can be charged under the Highway Traffic Act, although no demerit points are applied. And it's funny. So we've changed so much over the last number of years that we no longer have, or we rarely use physical ticket books because we have computerized generated tickets that do everything. So someone called in and said, my son or daughter got a ticket on their bicycle. They're worried about demerit points. And I had a conversation with a newer officer who said, what do I tell them? and I was looking on a new form, and there is still a check mark automatically, and there's a form, a tick box that says not a motor vehicle.
Yes.
And that is generated based on the classification of the entity, which is a cyclist, and it gets automatically filled now, but you don't have to manually do it. So they were looking for the switch.
Yep.
For how do you press it? Anyway, long story short, points aren't applied when you're riding a bicycle.
But the fine does
Same.
actually, apply. And if you don't pay it, it can affect your driver's license.
Yes. Some advice had come by recently from a lawyer, very active in the field it's the bicycle lawyer, and he was telling people, don't give your driver's license when you're getting pulled over as a cyclist, because you don't have to. And it's true, you don't have to. However, it does speed things up, and two, we can still look up your license.
Right.
It doesn't actually change anything, because we'll still look it up. You still have your identification number entered. That doesn't change.
Yep. But it is true. You don't have to
don't
provide a driver's license.
As a cyclist, as a motor vehicle operator, you must surrender your license. Okay. Radic has a statement, a thing. Actually, I skipped one. I have to go back to it. Good morning. When you pull someone over for a serious offense and the charge requires a court appearance, how does the court date determined or scheduled? Okay, so this is a situation where you're going to stunt driving. We know our schedule. We pick a 6 to 8 week window after the charge is laid, and it's for a first appearance. And we have certain days for different courtrooms, if it's still done the way it used to be done. So certain offenses for first appearance are like on Wednesday, and you choose 6 to 8 weeks
Yep.
to the future, and boom, go bang, go, you're done.
So we get to schedule the first appearance, and then from there it is scheduled by the court after.
Yes.
So, and we have a parameter that we have to get you to court within a reasonable amount of time. 6 to 8 weeks is what's been determined in the court says reasonable for the first appearance, so that we can, provide disclosure, all the witness statements, stuff like that. So
We have to be able to finish a complete package and send it off to court, essentially. And we want to give you the most complete package possible. Very cool. I absolutely, the very first time in 2.5 or 3 years that's ever been asked.
brought up as a question. Good question.
Good question.
Yep.
Yeah, points. Okay, we have, can regular police pull you over on the highway, or is it only OPP?
Does that mean we're regular police?
I guess we're the regular police. Which is definitely better being the irregular police, because that's a health concern.
But yes.
Sorry.
We are police officers 24/7. We are authorized to act within the province of Ontario, sometimes even farther than that, depending on the circumstances. So yes, we can pull you over anywhere, anytime. Now, I don't get paid to work on the main highways, but we can, and we do.
It's not our priority, but if we're there, absolutely, we have the ability to take action. Listen, our goal is always traffic safety, safety of the public. We're responsible for that. If we were driving from point A to point B and saw something that was, illegal and something that we were concerned about, taking action is the appropriate thing. Ignoring it would be the problem.
Yeah, absolutely. I pulled people over on the 400 series highways before. I've stopped and arrested impaired drivers on the highways
100%.
before, both on duty and off duty. So.
Yeah, 100%. People have responded very loudly in the comments, because I put up a video where my dash cam caught someone doing some very dangerous maneuvers, passing a vehicle on the right, cutting them off, and then traveling between two 18-wheelers in a very, very close proximity to one another, like threading the needle. And people were upset. Why didn't I pull them over? Why didn't I stop them? Why didn't I do? And ideally, that would be great for me to do, but I had my wife, my children, a personal car, no firearm, no use of force, no uniform. It's a problem. So we're responsible to do things, but we do the best we can in the situation. And what I did is I reviewed my video to try and get a license plate and an identity of the driver, and I couldn't get the identity, so I couldn't lay charges. I would have loved to have laid charges.
This is the same dash cam that's on a vehicle that's parked in the spot that it's not supposed to be parked in right
Because
now?
I had to unload equipment. Yes, that one.
Excuses, I see.
Yes. There was.
See
We had a
what
very
Sergeant-
full. We had a very full spot this morning, so I ran in to do that.
See what Sergeant Thing has to do?
Yeah. No, you have to constantly police your people. But that is the one. It's good. He's switched on. That's why I call him the good sergeant. All right. There should have been a registration fee or a refundable deposit to book a session for the event. So it's funny you mentioned that. Would adding a $10 refundable fee have made it possible to ensure that everyone who canceled, to make sure they got their refund, and it didn't stand up the event and burn spaces where, eager people who were wishing they could have been there? Yeah, I think that would have worked really well. But this is not something, it's not our event, it's their event. And I made a suggestion very much like that, Dr. Nick, so you and I are on the same page there. I think that would really help. Do you think it would prevent people from signing up altogether? That's a commitment. Instead of just putting your name down, now you have to make it's $10. Even if it's $2, I'd cancel properly for $2.
Yep, me too.
I'm a cop, what can I say? Okay. And we have others who agree. Oh, no kidding. Chase says Edmonton is totally full. Hundreds on the waiting list. Man, that's awesome. Okay, I'm very happy to hear that. We've been tagging Edmonton and promoting it, and I'm sure they're promoting it as well. So that's great that they're having success there. They have a week yet. We didn't. How long? I wonder. Let's see how long that waiting list goes. Do you need a rear view mirror to drive? Do you mean like the one attached to the windshield, or do you mean side view mirrors which provide a rear view? Because there's a difference. I find this to be an interesting question, and it's one that it depends.
Yep, it depends. So if you have a vehicle like a cube van, having a rear view mirror inside the vehicle on the windshield
Very important.
would be useless because you can't see at the back because there's a big door at the back there.
Yeah.
You do need the ability to see behind you. You must have at least one mirror capable of showing a view behind you.
They say a clear view to the rear.
Yep.
And that's important. If you think about Jeep, what are they? I don't even know what designation they are now. Used to be YJTJ.
Yep.
they, I had one. If you take the doors off, the mirrors come off, and you only have one on your windshield. Well, that one meets the requirement. If you have the one, because you took the other two off. I had always taken, mirror relocation kits and mounted the mirrors directly to the body so that you had as many mirrors as possible. Because the more mirrors, well, not as many as possible, but at least the 3. I prefer to have more mirrors than less. But yeah, as long as you have a clear view of the rear by mirror, and I guess now it has to be amended to say by video, because we have cameras.
Well, I was actually using it this weekend. So on one of our vehicles, we actually have the ability to switch it to the rear view camera
That's cool.
that shows up in the same spot.
Now, is
as
that a pickup
the-
truck?
That is not.
Oh,
No.
because the pickup trucks I've seen really provide that extra camera to the rear really provides a much better view than the one where you're cut off by the bed because there's so much blocking it.
Yep, absolutely. That definitely would. And then I'm assuming it's mounted on the tailgate. So you'll be able to see down below there as well. So
I like it.
this is the first time I've ever used it. We had stuff. I was moving my daughter. She's moving into an apartment for school next year. And we had stuff in the back. I couldn't see out the back, but I want to be able to, drive
See.
as safely as I can.
Yeah.
So I switched that. Well, it's kind of neat. Awkward, but I think I can get used to it.
So going back to Ford Driving Skills for Life, another end says, and they do it in person. They totally ignored the online wait list the day of. We did not. Just to clarify, when someone cancels, it automatically went to the next person, notified them by email, and invited them over. The problem is if the person who received the cancellation or the wait list space didn't cancel or say they don't want it because they were the first one in line and they deserved it, it was theirs, they were the next one on the wait list. If they never read the email, it just stopped. So it's an automated system. And what I just started doing is putting social media up saying, come, be on the wait list. And I think going forward, they're probably going to just have a window of people for just in case. I think they're going to change the way they do things because it was really successful in packing seats. So yeah, there were we identified some issues.
I got to skip out.
You got to go?
I got to go. I got
Okay.
1 minute to get on a meeting.
Well, yeah,
starting at 11
thank you
o'clock,
for
so-
dropping by. It was cool having you.
Yes, thanks very much. And everybody have an awesome Monday.
Yeah. I'll slide back into a less over to the side space position thing. And we're going to, being that it's now almost 11, no new questions, but I will try and work through quickly the questions I have. And then I have to go because I'm going to an event, which is one of the reasons I'm not uniformed today. I'm going to an event close by, but not close enough to walk. And that is all about child safety restraints. It's a summit. We're talking about stuff and things. Okay. What's the law on moving around in a motorhome? What do you mean? Motorhomes are motor vehicles. When you drive them like motor vehicles. When you park them in a place where you're allowed to park, they can be transferred magically into temporary domiciles, which means there's different rules. But what you have to tell me more. What is the actual question that you're looking for? Oh, really? So Chase says, Sean, it's my understanding that if you just press the lock button once on your key, it only locks the doors. When you press it a second time and it honks, that's when the actual alarm is set. Now I want to test that theory. I think it's based on lock. I don't think it's an alarm versus not alarm. But when I go outside to move the car that my good sergeant reminded me is not a spot that I'm supposed to be in, I'm in one of the traffic services spots versus personal vehicle spots. I'll test that out. I'll roll down the windows. I will open it inappropriately, and I will test that theory, and we'll find out soon. Okay. So I don't think this is going to happen randomly, but my wife is suggesting we should get dad joke license plate, dad JK. I think that's actually, yeah, if anyone's watching from the ministry and you can get me that without actually having me pay for a vanity plate, I'm all in. I don't think I'd pay money. It's like $500 for a vanity plate. I don't need to be dad joke that badly. Okay. That road guy has a question. Let's see here. Do you feel that people that are convicted of stunt driving should have their cars crushed? That road guy, 2/2, saw in Australia, they're doing just that. So I actually retweeted or reshared on TikTok a video of that, a news story on it. And I think that would be brilliant. I think that we have to get to the point where we stop coddling people and stop saying, okay, we're going to give you an opportunity to do better, because no one needs to get a warning at 150 kilometers an hour. I think it should just be crushed on site. But apparently there's a legal process, and we have to let you go to court. The problem with the court, specifically with stunt, is that there's a very low conviction versus charge rate. It's not because cops are doing the wrong thing. It's because courts are backed up, and there's other issues that come up. So that's why you find administrative charges are so high, I believe. And it's not just I believe, it's what the media reported on when the new laws, the increased suspension and increased consequences in terms of impound came out. Because there used to be 7 days impound, 7 days suspension, and it became 14-day vehicle impound, 30-day suspension, along with a bunch of other things. But the province will continue to increase the immediate consequence, the administrative consequences, to challenge and compete. What is it? To make sure that people get that sting for doing it, because no one's getting charged inappropriately. They're getting charged because they're guilty, and then the court process is separate. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Are motorcycles technically allowed to park anywhere, private lot, in the case of an emergency? No. What do you mean emergency? Motorcycles are okay. Private lots are a totally different situation. Private lot, there's designated parking spots, and if you're not in a designated parking spot, actually, if you're anywhere, the representative or the owner of the property can come say that is inappropriately parked. I want it towed, and they can do that. They can have it ticketed. That's that. But private property is a totally different situation. So you put it on the sidewalk, expect a ticket, because they can call our parking enforcement and have it ticketed or towed. They certainly have that ability. When we're talking about parking elsewhere, then obviously they're motor vehicles. There's nowhere can you just park anywhere. Yeah. Who has the right of way if I'm walking across an on-ramp of an expressway if car coming? I think the big thing that you have to understand is you're coming from the perspective of a pedestrian walking. You have to yield in most cases. If it's a signalized intersection, if there's a crosswalk, there's different rules. But these are cut throughs, so they have to. If you're legally in the intersection, the vehicle has to yield to you. If if they are legally in the ramp, you don't have right of way. You have to wait for them, because they're making the turn. They're doing it at speed. There's a bypass or cut through. It is not a signalized intersection with a stop. You're required to be safe when crossing, but you can't just walk out in front of them and hope that they're going to stop. Okay. Historic plates, 30 years. I believe that's correct. Can you explain to me why speeding has less of an effect on your license than simply spinning tires? Spinning tires, intentional loss of traction, is listed as a stunt driving thing. Speeding could be 1 kilometer over, and it could be 50 kilometers over. So it depends on when and where you are getting. But loss of traction is absolutely looking at throwing up debris, damaging the road, losing control. It's associated with more than simply 1 kilometer over, whereas speeding is anything over the posted speed limit. It is only when you get to a certain speed that is considered stunting, speed alone. Other behaviors could take stunting and make it applicable. So if you're, hammering down, you never exceed the speed limit, but you accelerate really, really, really quickly, which is a marked departure of what everybody else is doing, well, that could be stunt driving. It depends. I have the entire section, the OREG, listed as a link on TrafficCop.ca. You're welcome to go read it, and we can discuss it again. We'll, of course, be back tomorrow for 10 a.m. To do this again. I don't think I have any radio segments this week. It's next week that we do it. But if you're interested in chatting more about it, we can certainly do that. Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. Good morning to you. Yeah, that's awesome. Matthew, I love it when we're going, Canada wide, North America wide, internationally. We have people that sometimes come in from Europe who say hello. It's really cool. What happens if you get pulled over while driving? Sorry, when you get pulled over while having your G1 and not driving with a G driver? One of my favorite things to lay charges for. It's the people who choose to break the rules when they don't even know how to drive. It's G1 drive unaccompanied. It's a $110 fine, but it's also a 30-day suspension for your first conviction, a 90-day for your second, and on your third, you get kicked out of the G1 or graduated licensing program. Additionally, you could be looking at charges either for take vehicle without consent, if the vehicle owner or person in charge of it says, I didn't let them, criminal. So that's a big deal. If they said, I did loan them, well, then the person who loaned you the vehicle, knowing that you had a G1, or even if they didn't know, but they're responsible to know, they can be charged under the Highway Traffic Act. If you're involved in a collision, well, then you're not insured. At least the liability side of it, you hurt someone in that car, they'll be insured, but the car is going to be written off, or if it's written off, or if it's damaged, will not be repaired if the owner gave you the vehicle to a G1 driver, because they're not going to cover an unlicensed driver, which is what you are when you're a G1. You're a learner's permit holder. You can't operate the vehicle. You have conditions. All right. I hope that helps. If you have more questions related to that, let me know. Dad joke from Zombie. Flagging that just to see here. Yeah. Here we go. To whoever stole my mirror, I hope you stop and reflect on what you've done. That is actually awesome. My dad has kind of a dad joke plate. His Roadrunner plate reads Coyote Bait in short. I like that too. Can I ride my motorized converted bicycle in Toronto roads? So if you mean you have a e-bike converted, electric power source that does not exceed 32 kilometers an hour, that meets all the requirements of the legislation related to e-bikes, then yes. And information on e-bike legislation you can find it by going to TrafficCop.ca and clicking on the what is it called? Useful links. If you're talking about a gas-powered conversion, then the answer is no. In fact, you cannot operate those anywhere or on any road in the province of Ontario. You can only use it when you're on private property. Private property and private property alone. That is it. That is all. There is no other option. They are motor vehicles. They are motorcycles, in fact. And a lot of people are being told, oh, if it's under 50 cc's, it's legal. No, they're lying to you. They want to sell you garbage so you can create a vehicle that is illegal. And they don't care because they got your money. But you're the one who's going to get a ticket for driving in an unsafe motor vehicle. You're going to get a ticket for, that's actually a summons to court, but you're going to get charged for drive motor vehicle, no insurance, no license, and a myriad of other things. In fact, we'll probably throw every charge we can find at you. Yeah, I think we've covered all the stuff. I think we're up to date. I'm searching. No, I think we covered it all. No one got the law thing. I am the law. No. Come on, Judge Dredd. Yes. I am pretty sure, unless I'm incorrect. But anyway, why did the burglar take a shower before robbing a house? Because he wanted to make a clean getaway? Yeah, I knew where that was going. Awesome. I have my dad jokes from my calendar. It's the Today Dad joke. Let's see. Dad, my pencil broke. Do you have a sharpener? Forget it. There's no point. It's garbage. So it was a garbage joke. All right, with that, I say goodbye. I bid you adieu. We will see you tomorrow, and I'll be here at 10 a.m. I just noticed a comment. So they pay you to sit on TikTok and educate people. Is that you say it like it's a bad thing? I take it this is yes, they pay me to sit on TikTok for an hour a day, and I educate people, sometimes 2 hours a day. I also create training material and courses and programs and investigate stuff and things. I do a lot of things. I'm a police officer. We're multi-talented. But I appreciate you scratching your head on this one because it's unique. Why is it unique? Because we're really the only ones in the world who do this. Ask a Traffic Cop is a phenomenon created right here in the Toronto Police, and I'm very proud to be able to say that this is something that I did. And I continue to do because I love it, because I want to help you, and I want to make sure people not only are safer, but that they don't get tickets because they didn't break the law because we told them what the law was. They understood it, because so much of the law is difficult to understand. So the real answer as to why I'm here, yeah, I'm educating, I'm helping, talking to people because we care and we want to help you. It's what it's all about. And I think it's a really important thing to do. So, user 6969 says, love it. It makes sense. We never get an opportunity to ask officers questions about the law. Yeah, you could always call a police station, and two things happen when you do that. You get whoever answers the phone, and the person who knows the answer to that particular question may not be that person. So I'm a traffic specialist. I talk about traffic safety. I am very involved with staying on top of the news and changing of the laws. I sit on a lot of committees, and you got the right guy when you're asking questions. And if I don't know it, I don't know it, but I know a lot of stuff. All right, we have the traffic song, which is how we're going to say goodbye today. Back tomorrow, 10 a.m. I look forward to seeing you all, even though I don't actually see you, but I see you in the chat. Anyway, have a great day. Have a safe day.
Yellow light, red light,
See you soon.
green light, go. Driving safely helps the traffic flow. Watch for pedestrians, look out for bikes, and don't drive like a jerk that no one likes. Yellow light, red light, green light, go. Driving safely is the way to go. Put down your cell phone, nobody needs you to text and drive on the DVP. Yellow light, red light, green light, go. Stop at stop signs, look both ways, then go. Seatbelt, save your life indeed. And watch your driving, don't speed. Yellow light, red light, green light, go. Driving safely is the way to go. Don't drink and drive or smoke some weed, because you might go to jail and not get free. Yellow light, red light, green light, go. Driving safely helps the traffic flow.
And for anyone who was wondering if I'd come back for the last second, I did. Have a great day, everybody. See you later. Who else sings along? Everyone should sing along.